My name is Gary Braasch. I'm a photographer. I specialize in natural history and environmental issues. And I have been in the Northwest out of Portland or the Oregon coast since about 1972, and I was very lucky enough and privileged enough to be in the neighborhood on the safe side of the mountain in 1980 when Mount St. Helens erupted. So in some respects I've been here since that beginning, but there's a whole lot of new beginnings going on around here right now.
So Gary, what do you think you may take away from this gathering, this encounter with the mountain, with these people that might inform your work?
Well, there's no doubt that talking to this broad range of people is really broadening my view of what's important about the volcano and the surrounding area. I immediately in 1980 began interacting with scientists, and many of the scientists that were here this week, Jerry Franklin, Jim Siddell, Charlie Crisafulli, who was I think still a graduate student at that point, I've been out in the field with throughout the years, and I've been to their sites. But the energy that I got that was new to me even after this 25 years is the depth of the emotion that this eruption has had on people, unrelated to science, unrelated to the neighborhood, people even from the East Coast or from other parts of the Northwest who haven't been here very much. Despite the fact that they don't have much experience with this mountain, the idea of it clearly has influenced them, and it's clear from their discussions and the emotions that they've shown that they are very deeply affected by what's happened here. And that really has broadened my appreciation of what this place means, and it makes all of the pictures that I've made from the very beginning have a lot more meaning.
This bringing together of artists and writers and scientists, is this something that feels productive and worthwhile to you?
This cross-pollination of interests and knowledge is very important. There should be more of this. In fact, there are, been a number of other meetings and other sites that are this kind of thing. But what I hope, of course, is that it can be more than just feeding of individual projects as people go home. I do hope that we can organize some sort of public statement or public review of our discussions here that can be published and become one of the documents of this region and of this volcanic eruption. The thing that's important to me in a more philosophical way that's happened here to me and has, I think, happened to the mountain is a way of looking at the eruption that instead of any kind of destruction, that what happened is that the area was thrown open to all possibilities. It was given a new, fresh start, and anything could happen. And in nature, many new species came in. The very fact that life survived here right after the eruption and was immediately apparent again, it was a surprise and a revelation to scientists. The whole landscape was thrown open to new possibilities. And I know I've learned this weekend from Jerry Franklin that in some of the forests that were burnt but not totally destroyed, that the tree species that you normally would be the very last one to be the dominant species hundreds of years through succession in a forest was actually shortcut that, and it's now growing up and will become almost like an instant climax forest as it matures. That's a very surprising event, and it's one of the things I mean about being thrown open to all possibilities. And for us humans, the same thing has happened. We have seen new possibilities, new art has come out of this. People's lives, of course, who were directly in the way of the mountain were very heavily disrupted, which is a kind of recreation that's forced on you. So it very much is a creation, very much is a feeling of being thrown open to all possibilities and to the broader universe that we might not have seen focused so narrowly as we usually are in our lives.
Fred Swanson describes these kinds of things as assignments from God. As a photographer, perhaps it's a little unusual to have an assignment that lasts for 25 years and remains open-ended.
The whole idea of the passage of time has been an interest of mine as a photographer. I mean, a photograph is 1/500th of a second, but the time that you see in a picture, of course, is much longer than that. And I've learned early on to use long exposures and to repeat the same scene. But Mount St. Helens became first of all, it became an instant time travel. Suddenly, I was back to the orogeny, the beginning of the Cascade Range. I was not one to visit Mount St. Helens that often. I was mostly up on Mount Hood, over near Mount Adams, but I certainly had been here before, and I realized immediately when the eruptions happened that I was witnessing what had happened to all of these mountains and all of these landscapes, and that I was being thrown back to the beginning of time in a way. And so I tried to use all the tricks that I knew in terms of photographic technique to make that more obvious. And one of the ones that I do use is to go back to locations that I have one location that I actually have photographed before the eruption that I can re-access. Others were made right after the eruption and look totally dead and desolate and destroyed. But as we know, things have come up immediately. So I have a set of pictures from three main locations that show the rebirth of plants and trees coming in and so forth over time. And it is a time travel, and it definitely is a way of presenting to people in a way they don't normally see what time's effect is on the natural world. I've also, of course, been at the mountain overnight and been able to do long time exposures of the plume drifting off and some magical pictures. Early on in the development of the lava dome itself, and the lava that is red lava, that doesn't come out of the surface as red lava, but at night you see it. So I've done a lot of pictures that use time as an element of the photograph in a very overt way.